here with Brandon Watson. How you doing? So good to
How
see
you doing? Great to be here.
Yeah, you too, man. So tell us more about yourself. You're working with Science in the City in France, but you're based here in New York.
Yes, sir. Been in the cannabis industry for a long time. Even started when it wasn't legal. Had to survive. In New York City. Also working in dispensary, so it's an honor to know the corporate side, street side, and learn more about the plant. It's a beautiful, healing medicine, and it's good to that we have a community now, which is more open, and now we can come together and figure out how can we make the world better with cannabis.
100%. But again, this is the first time I've been in New York for 20 plus years, so I'm kind of first time I'm seeing New York with cannabis. What do you feel like it's been? How people responded to legalization? I mean, it seems like everyone's got dispensaries, but then you've got little bodegas selling. Hey, do you want to buy how has it been? What's it been kind of like on the ground floor? I guess
I could tell you pretty much. Working in dispensaries and the stores and stuff. Dispensaries, is basically 9 to 5. It's like regular hours, and the bodegas that's open a little bit more later, just in case most of the dispensaries close. If you want to know the difference between the dispensaries and the bodegas, it's an honor that now you get to smoke cannabis, without getting stopped or incarcerated for it, and it also brings, I feel, a lot of people diversity together because you see more and more people come together.
I mean, this is it. I mean, again, I've been to places like Amsterdam, and you go to some of the coffee shops there. You see people from all backgrounds, all ages, all, it's really, really interesting. It's like, this is not just catering to one particular demographic. Everyone wants to try it. It works for everyone. I remember going to a place and just seeing a long line of people. It was a Friday night, and it's just like everyone's just stocking up for the weekend. It felt like a nice thing. It didn't feel like there was any sort of problem, stigma, or anything like that. But again, do you feel like there's still stigma here? Do you feel? I mean, again, London, for example, is very cosmopolitan. It's a world city like New York.
Beautiful.
But cannabis is still frowned upon to some extent. I mean, again, police will have better things to do than chase bus kids for possession and things like that. But what's your sort of take on how it's been received generally by people in New York?
Basically, I feel like it's a relief.
Okay.
Because this is a real tough city, but it is everywhere. I feel have its pros and cons. But the hustle and bustle of the city, is very stressful. Things is high and stuff. So sometimes, back then, happy hour, not everybody want to get drunk all the time. So it's just good now. You have an option. If I want to smoke a blunt, I can smoke a blunt. Feel relaxed, feel relieved, and won't have so much stress to worry about it. And I don't have to worry about, being getting locked up or arrested for it. I could just get off of work, smoke a nice blunt, and go about my business. And whatever was stressed about that day, just forget about it.
This is it. And then again, I know it's like in the UK, we have a big drinking culture, which I think probably kind of eclipses cannabis to some extent in terms of the preferred kind of recreational outlet. But then so is Germany. Germany's a big, and they've managed to sort of pass it through. And it's like, thinking around people's attitudes. And again, I think in Britain, a lot of people will be more about, we don't mind it, but you get a lot of this kind of whole NIMBY attitude. It's fine if you just take it over. I don't want anything to do with it. And it's almost like the smell is what people see as, this is stigma. This is what leads people to go, it's a crime in progress, rather than it's someone medicating or relaxing. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's going to take a while. Do you feel like that stigma is less so here now?
A little bit, but you got, pros and cons. You got some people that still iffy, and some people that just like, hey, sometimes people always want to judge and come down with something they don't know or understand.
Yeah.
If they actually did their research, they will see that marijuana is a plant. It can help out with different medicines.
Yeah.
Now, I'm for people who don't smoke also. Because not everybody smoke, but there's different ways to taking cannabis that's healthy.
And I think that's part of the way forward. I think perhaps older generations, the kind of boomer generation, you know, they don't want to, smoke this and stuff, but an edible, a gummy, it's almost like a little pill. You know, I feel better if I take this kind of thing. And I feel that is the kind of, we need these different form factors in order to kind of get that broader appeal. But again, I've only been to one dispensary so far, and hoping to hit a few more in the next couple of days and sort of see just get a feel for it. But it's, it's interesting. It's interesting to kind of compare and contrast. And I've seen, in Canada, in the Netherlands, in Germany, even it's legal in Germany, you still have to kind of access it through a medical route. It's, all of these issues are still kind of leveling out, even on a kind of international scale. But I feel like, despite, I think it's easy to bemoan any kind of market, but progress is being made.
Yes,
and I think that's the thing. Even if it gets messed up, it's like, okay, well, we know not to do that, but here might be 2 steps ahead of somewhere else, and somewhere else is 2 steps ahead of New York, and it's like, let's keep talking and keep comparing and contrasting what works here, what works for you. And I think that this is why shows like this are important. It kind of brings the community together to kind of share notes, so I think it's really interesting. No, thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you. I appreciate it. It was an honor.
Yeah, you too,
thank
man.
you.
Take care. Boom.
Enjoy.